everyone. Hey, Bobby. How are you guys doing on Facebook? So what I'm doing is I'm doing live on Zoom and also doing live on Facebook. While I'm playing around with this slide deck, and I'm seeing people coming into that Zoom call. By the way, Bobby, if you want, you can jump into the Zoom call as well, because it has all the slides deck, and same as Winston too. Just because I have all presentations on basically the four W's to raising capitals. Typically, this is a meeting I do it on the physical library room, and in Canada and just like a lot of part of the world, we are facing with the situations that we have to do something. We have to be precautions, and in fact, in Canada, we are banning over 250 people. That is like, if we are meeting and stuff, and in fact, a lot of office and people go home. And I know that's really bad situations for especially for the older people. But we have to do what we have to do, and we have this meeting, and this is actually every second Saturday on the month, and we have this. We call it hate to break meetups, or we call it multi-family meetups, and we do it every second Saturday of the month, and we have been doing it all year. We have basically laid out, I print out the whole stack of meetings, slides, and for the people that usually come, and usually for 20 to 50 people online, I mean physically coming, but I'm grateful that we're all healthy. I'm grateful that we are able to come in and seeing people coming in online. So hi Kuda, how are you doing? Oh, there you go. I think I've finally see a way to see other people online. Hi everyone. This is my first time using the Zoom call, and see a lot of people working from home. Who is actually at home right now? Who is working from home? It's good to see you guys join online, and I hope that we don't have to keep doing this. I hope that we don't have to keep doing online, but the fact is, The Health Canada official has been keep coming, online and telling us you have to basically we have this room booked 2 months ago, and they have to they basically cancel our room like just yesterday. One of the attendees, Raul, I think, he said that you should go check the room and like go online on the library, and obviously they say that you can't have all the room is canceled until end of April. And then I was on the phone with them like for the whole like 10 minutes and trying to figure out, you have your room booked, but you know what, we're closing all the room effectively immediately. So we just bring it online. But I do prefer to meet people face to face, because I think that's you can see how people react, you can see how the response. It doesn't feel like you're talking to yourself to the monitor, right? Let's see who's watching online. I hope I'm not playing around too much things together, but really, I could have canceled that. I could have like saying that, what, that's too much work. But I was setting up my room for like 2 hours. You know what? My gosh, that's like so much things you have to set up. You have to set up the angle. You have to set up. This is usually my office. I don't set it up so that it can be broadcast, or so to speak. So I was here like 10 a.m. Like this now it's like 1 p.m. in Canada, in Calgary. And running around like a dog, and just make sure that I cover all the angle. So, who is the one that's first time come here? Should raise your hand. Okay. So when you see that I'm like kind of leaning a little bit back, I'm playing around with meeting people, because I think we are still. Thank you for the one who is coming first time. By the way, hi Wei, how are you? It's can you guys talk to each other, or I guess you guys just muting yourself, which is really fantastic. I love it. I basically have two. I have my I basically join as two persons. I have my iPhone shooting over me because I want you to look at me, and I'm sharing my slide deck. I'm sure there's a way that you can do it with one computer, but you know what? Let's just do it this way. And then also on live on Facebook. So for all the people on live on Facebook, I suggest you to go on the Zoom call, because you can actually see all the slide deck. You can actually see. So basically you can download this. I think I should give you the Google Drive link. You can download it and get a copy of that, because I want you to go through this. This is where basically I usually go through with face-to-face meeting. So please do that. And at the same time, okay, I see a few more people coming in. So it's just at meeting all you guys. Hi everyone. Hi Scott.
Hello. You hear us, Howard?
I do.
Oh, okay.
I do. How's everyone doing? So well, I'm really grateful to see all of you guys showing up online, because this is basically last minute. I set this up like 2 days ago. I always have Zoom, but I never have a pay account, so I set that up, get it paid so that it won't stop at 40 minutes mark. And I hope the connection, you guys seeing me is okay on the slides, and me is like talking, is everything's looking pretty clear, like everyone's, like no problem? Perfect. Okay, fantastic. Okay. So we are a couple of minutes early. What time is it now? We are 58, but welcome everyone. And so just gonna see if I can. Okay, I'm just still seeing people coming in. Just let me admit them all. Let me go over to the slide deck. So how's everyone?
Good.
Fantastic. Thank you for coming in. So at times I probably will. The reason I set this up because I may be standing up at times. So let me just do this. That's a lot of work doing this because my room is not set up for podcasting. My room is actually set up for myself. And so if I just walk here, I'm just gonna be doing this. So I feel like, let me see. Okay. So welcome everyone. Just want to welcome all of you guys. This is my first time ever have this kind of like online meetings. So my name is Howard Lau. I've been doing this since 2017, and so I host local meetup. Obviously, we talked about it earlier. The reason why we're doing this right now is because everyone's stuck home, and I think this is probably more safe than just having handshake and hug and all that. But I'm grateful to have the opportunity to meet all you guys. The one on Facebook, you guys pretty new, and you guys doing all the Zoom calls. I see a lot of returning faces, and so let's jump right in. And so this is my meetup. So I say that this is I just have to add me a couple of guys. So this is my meetup. So I say that you can raise capital, and my meetup is about multifamily, and it's all about multifamily, and this is the third one of the year. But a little bit of housekeeping: no coughing to the people around you. And if you, good, I see you smiling, and this is so funny. Yeah, because usually I see all you guys in front of me, and you guys are smiling. I see all your reactions, but no coughing to the people around you. And then mute your speaker if you want, if it helps for other attendees to have less echo. And we try to have Q&A in between. So if you have questions, either raise your hand, or just if I'm kind of ignoring you because I only see like 5 of you guys, like if I'm not sliding up and down on your pictures, and let me know. Just shout, unmute it, let me know, and get your question answered. Is it cool? Cool, fantastic. So we will have a break. I'm trying to have a break. We'll see how it goes. So again, I said that like this is my 2020 meetups. I do this since 2017. This is mark the 3-year mark of doing this. This first time I'm doing it at home, and so basically my platform or my framework is I teach you how to do it, and I'm really committed to the people who come to my meetups. I'm really committed to people who want to learn about multifamily, particularly investing in US. And the reason I'm doing this because to be honest, it's just not a lot of people doing it. Not a lot of people doing multifamily. Not a lot of people talk about how to invest in US, and say, what, this is a golden opportunity, and I just can jump right in and teach people how I've done it, how I've closed property that with a lot of upside, and comparing to single family. Who is investing in single families? And those are a lot of new people, and you, Scott, and who else is investing in single family? Way, yes, I see that. Yeah, so so by the way, the reason why I'm doing it because I see a lot of opportunity in doing multifamily. I was actually talking to a deal, looking at a deal. This not following the agenda, but I was talking to at 2 a.m. I was dealing with U.S. investors, and it's a side story. So she has a money partner that potentially invests $5 million US. And so they're looking for a deal. They're looking for cash flow opportunities, and so they basically tell me, the requirement and things like that. We want 10, so basically 10% interest, and 10% off the on the equity side, and so forth. And I find myself working on a opportunity, multifamilies, that if things works out and 2 years later, the managing partner, meaning that me and my other partner, that we can work together if things works out, then we can make just under $3 million. So that is the reason why I'm doing this. is because of the upside, because of the things. If you do one deal, if you do right, and you can make a lot of capital. You can make a lot of capital. You can make a lot of money. Hi, Joe, and so that's why I'm doing this. But I want to let you guys know the reason why I set it up this way. 2020. You look at the meetups I've set up from number one, raising capital, research, how to create credibilities, and how do you build a team. Basically, people skills. What I mean by that is like creating the skill set, or like learn the skill set that you can create the teams to build your successful real estate team. What I tell you, the example is when I say that a guy come in like with 5 million trying to invest. That's just a prime example of doing that, and that's obviously there's so much things, a lot of things you have to do before that, but and building a team, because you're not going to be able to do everything yourself, right? And negotiate team, underwriting a team. By the way, I'm hosting a boot camp, underwriting boot camp next Saturday, with 5 to 7 people that have registered and have always come to my meetings. A few you guys is here today. White, Cooler, James, and a few other people that coming next Saturday. So we're doing that. It's a full day event, and so I do that. So moving on, leadership skills. Again, it's kind of tied to how do you manage your team, how to create a team in different market, because you're not going to be in your local market. Know your finance is just another way of how do you pull, the deal, so that in a way that you can make the bank money work for you, and also the private investor money work for you. So and then at the end, I do this for the year, because that's basically the framework how you can create tons of equity in really short period of time and doing value adds. And I show that on my bootcamp as well. So today topic is about raising capital. By a show of hands, who understand the importance of raising capital? Who understand that? Perfect. So I want to let you guys know, raising capital is basically the quickest way, or people call it like other people OPM, other people money, or private equities, or whatever you like it called. But basically, it's basically in two things. First of all, everyone wants to use other people's capital, but as I'm doing myself, as a few years ago I started to go on this journey myself, and I figured out that using other people's capital is a good thing, because I even give you guys an example of how do you if you want to buy a lot of properties, you either have two ways. You're either going to be buy with your own capital, or you're going to be building your team and be the person able to raise the capital. Like I was talking to this investor yesterday. To give you an example, I was working like 2 a.m. This is my job, and I tell her, it's like dating is about it's almost like dating. When you raising capital, is almost like a dating thing. So because you just have so much things you have to do, tell me. So I want people who have raised capital. I'm doing this Facebook, I'm waving at everyone. So by show of hands, who have raised capital, and who tell me that? Can you tell me short and answers? Like, tell me, is it easy or is it hard? Unmute your speaker. Okay. Who has raised capital before? Spread your hand first. Who have raised capital before? So raising capital is almost like dating, by the way. You have to create the relationships with the investors, and but the fact is, like I always encourage people to raise capital, but the fact is it is a really tough gig. It's a really tough gig. because you have someone to do this. So it's a really tough gig because you have tons of things you have to do. So basically, these investors when it come in is like, I can bring in. So she's saying that she can bring in the capital or the investors, and I can bring the deal. And basically, she mentioned this is 99% of the work, and it's really true because you have to. We're not talking about multifamily. It's always these three parts, so to speak. Basically, the first part is marketing for money, well, marketing for deal, and the second part is marketing for money, and the last part is basically what I call asset managing. So basically, again, there's marketing for deal and marketing for money, and then asset management. So you can do basically in a nutshell, like I break it down in 8 steps. But basically, you can stop doing the marketing to raising a deal. I'm doing a foreign marketing. We figure why I'm doing this a month in, a month out, because this is my marketing campaign. I explain to all you guys, if you come to my meetup so many times, you know that I tell you guys this is how you do it, and that's no secret. And you can't stop doing it if you want to raise capital. And you how many can you spend? Because for example, I'm trying to use the 5 million to buy 15 million worth of properties. The 5 million, it's gonna take, if I have to save 5 million, it's gonna take me 2 to 3 lifetimes to save 5 millions, right? But if you do the necessary steps and learn the skills to be able to attract the capital, you can probably raise 5 million within 5 years. I'm talking about from ground up, no knowledge whatsoever, and then trying to build yourself, learn this knowledge, come to learn it from the people who have done it, and then build the necessary marketing to attract the investors. It's going to take about 5-7 years, I would say, and the people will kind of start come to you, and that's way easier, way faster to attract capital. So start asking about the question is, what kind of skills you have to master if you decide to raise capital. What do you think? Give me, I've been talking a lot. I want to kind of hear you guys a little bit. What do you guys think? I'm giving you 4 things today, and 4 W's to raise capital. Basically, is the who, what, where, and then the how. Tell me what kind of skills that you think you need to master in order to be successful raise capital. By show of hands, tell me. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Come on, guys. Cooler, tell me. To pick on you guys.
I think you have to have the skills to influence other people.
Thank you, White. Yeah, thank you, White. That's a good one. Anyone else? Thank you. Twitter, marketing yourself very good. You can just I could be, take an example. I could be sitting at home or sitting in front of my office and do this and just setting up this meeting. But you know what? I will have no one to attend. And right now we have 19 people attending. But if I can just do that. But that's just marketing skills, right? If I don't advertise on Facebook, if I don't send them multiple emails, and just know when people will come. Let me see. Who else? I'm muted. Tell me. Yeah.
Where the funds are in the first place.
Say that again, sorry, buddy.
Yeah, I said you need to know where the funds are in the first place. Who's going to give you the funds you want to raise?
Yeah. So that's a skills, right? To be able to identify identify that where is the capital coming from, and that's a knowledge you can learn, and that's a knowledge you have to learn to be able to go to the right source, right? And Kim, you say that you raise your hand. You want to share? So the thing is, I use 3 meetups to talk about raising capital, because I talk to my my group, and I talk to my investors. The fact is, raising capital is the most simple important things you can do. to basically accelerate your real estate game. That's why I spend so much time talk about it. You have to first of all know what you're talking about, right? You have to know multifamilies. You have to know enough of what multifamily is about. You have to know master the 8 steps, because you basically when you're trying to raise capital, think about this. You are trying to go to Mr. Investor and trying to be the quarterback or the main person that he or she will be eventually invest with you. So you better know what you're talking about, right? You better know how to research the market. You better know how to get the deals. You better know how to pull the deal together, how to close it, and how to properly do the legal structures, right? Know how to do the underwriting, manage the guy, constructions, days in and days out, and know how to verify the value add. By value add, it means how much rent you can increase, how much equity you can increase. But it means that if you look at this room, you say now, let's say I'm buying it $100, but what is the work that I need to basically renovate it and make it away this room nice enough so that I can charge $200? That's what I mean by value add. Okay, you have to know how to do value add, and you have to do all those before you can actually able to talk to the investor, and infuse the confidence to the investor, saying that, you know what, I know what I'm doing. Give me your capital. Is it fair? So, that's why I say raising capital is very important. So, I use who, where, what, and how, and I think it's very important because when I starting out, actually no one tell me about this concept about who is your target audience. I read it somewhere, I'm pretty sure, but no one's actually talking about that. And I decided to put it on this meetups because first of all, you have to know who they are, right? And you don't want to identify an investor who doesn't have capital or don't have the capacity to basically to invest. Otherwise, you'll be wasting your time. You need to know where you can find them, right? And you need to know where you can meet them, right? And when you see them and you know that these guys have money who want to invest, and now you need to learn the skills and then come back to knowing what you're saying, knowing what you do. And now you say, invest with me. But the fact is, everyone wants to do that. But you need to equip yourself so that you know what you're going to say to them, to your audience I'm talking about. And you need to know how you're going to say it and how you're going to present the information, and including all the documentations. I'm just looking around. So on my training program, I talk about things that how do you structure the deals, what kind of property management, property package you need to create it, and how you can present yourself, because as good as you are, you still have to put in a repeatable, presentable information so the investors, so they can induce confidence, and that is the main part of raising capital. Because the truth is, you may know everything what you do, you may know everything, you may be able to find the deal, and you're able to manage everything, but at the end of the day, it's a presentation job. So raising capital is a presentation job, it's a marketing jobs that you have to be able to create the documentations, create the communications on the storefront that investor want to invest with you. So that's what I mean. Who's your target? Where you can find them? How you're going to be? What are you going to talk to them? How you can say that? And what kind of information you have to be prepared and present it to your audience. Are we good? So so this is what we're going to talk about. We'll talk about a lot of that. I'm going to be doing a quick, usually I do this when I'm on live meetings. You guys wanted to introduce yourself, or you just want to kind of skip that? I can let you guys, basically you can just shake your hand or you can nod your head. I'm just going to look around and let you guys do it or not. Joey, seems like you're pumped. Oh, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, sure. My name is Joe. I I'm a real estate investor, mostly doing Airbnbs right now, but I'm also interested in other types of real estate as well. I've met Howard for quite some time now, and I've always liked to come to his meetup because he always brings value. So that's what I really like. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell, I guess.
Fantastic, Joel. How about Scott? You want to do this, Scott? Yeah.
Have one single family property that I split to and up down. And kind of, I've been there, done that now, and ready to scale.
Fantastic. Who's next? Just jump in. Why? How about that? Hey, go ahead.
All right. My name is Jide. I'm a telecoms engineer.
Woohoo! Another engineer.
To diversify. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. All right. So my name is Jide. I'm a telecommunications engineer. But I've been looking into diversifying into real estate for a while. And I kind of stumbled into your program and I thought, okay, this looks like something interesting. Let me just see how it has to offer, and that's why I'm here.
Welcome. Keep coming. Hopefully we don't have to do this crazy online Zoom call all the time.
No one else is going to go. My name's Letitia. It says Bonnie, but that's not me. My name is Letitia. I work project controls in industrial construction, and just looking to essentially start something new, start with investment properties, and raising capital is that big mountain ahead of me that is pretty intimidating. So I'm kind of wanting to understand how to knock that down and approach it better.
It is very true. You summarize it very correctly. It is very intimidating, but I guarantee you, just like anything, if you keep learning how to walk, you're gonna walk. Who else want to go next? Tara, Gary, Ryan? Good.
Hi, my name is Tara. I don't think you can see me. My video is not really working that well, but
That's okay.
but I just wanted to. I'm an avid real estate investor. I would say I'm probably still novice at it, and I'm just looking to expand my portfolio and trying to figure out the best strategies to do that.
Multifamily is the best strategy. Who else want to go? Okay. Going once, going twice. Moving on. So the reason why I give you guys this opportunity, because I always believe in in order for you to be able to one day to do what a lot of full-time investors doing, you have to know how to present yourself. In fact, it's like 3 years ago when I was starting to learn how to do meetings, how to talk to people, I don't know where to start. So my mentor at that time pushed me out, you have to host meeting. And knowing nothing about any, I'm an engineer by trade, I was. And presentation is not part of my forte. And I don't know how to properly speak, and I don't know what is the way to host meeting, how to market the meeting, how to get people in meetings. So I was, but long story short, that's the reason why I want you guys to basically have the opportunity to basically here you guys, not everyone go to public speaking. Not everyone do that. Not Cooter have done that, but not everyone have done that. But that's I want to give you guys the 30 seconds so that you guys can, you know, to basically not being weird and introduce yourself. And you shouldn't be if you're trying to raise capital and you're trying to be even doing any deals with investors. You have to be able to properly present yourself. So I say that like I've been doing the multifamilies for, well, I've been doing real estate since 2006, right? I've been investing in Calgary, I've been investing in Winnipeg, and then I also invest in Asia myself. And then 5 years ago, I said, you know, I was at about 16 properties. I said, you know, this is too crazy, like, you know, too crazy as in the fact that I can't scale it. Trying to find a way to scale it. That's where I feel that I have the bottleneck, and I say, you know what, that must be a way to better doing it. So I basically go search. That's my searching journey. That's my soul search, and I say, you know what, that must be a way that people do multifamily. So I go to US this group, and I find this US group that teach about multifamily. So I say, you know, I'm going to go join them. So long story short is, I write down a check, and then it's a pretty big check, and basically say, you know what, I'm going to study it and learn from them, and that's how my multifamily start. And 3 years ago, I closed my first apartment buildings of 48 units. So, and then after that, you know, I know there's a market in Calgary. I know there's a market in Calgary in such a means that, you know, a lot of people want to learn about how to do multifamily. And I want to talk about multifamily. I want to speak about multifamily in the local Calgary. We're talking about 1.5 million people. There's a lot of people who want to learn about investing in US or investing in multifamily in general. Everyone investing in real estate, just like me at the beginning, want to invest in multifamily eventually, right? So I go search, and, you know, I go online and, you know, trying to find groups, and, you know, it's really disappointing. I couldn't find a group that's dedicated to multifamily, or they maybe have multifamily group that come and go, you know. So that's where I started. 2017, I first had my own meetups, and I consistently doing it. At the beginning, I only do it once a quarter, and I fine tune the messages. And so I have 12 meetups every year now since last year, and it will be the same this year. And I'm creating boot camps. So next week is my first boot camp of the year, and I have 4 boot camps, and I'm creating market domination. Means that the people who want to actually visit the market in US, the market that I do know and currently invest, I strongly encourage you to do it, because, you know what, that's the market you can find deals that is at least double to triple more lucrative than the one. And I'm not even exaggerating, because when I started in 2017 on multifamilies, and I didn't believe that, and by quick comparison, in Calgary, single families, we're starting at about 150,000 per door, right? And yeah, sorry, I'm not. I see some response, but I'm not able to see all of you guys. But 150,000 per door. But in US, you know, when I first started to go to US, 2017, I couldn't believe you can find properties that it's like 20,000, 30,000 per doors, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what, you know, I love Canada, but I don't love overpaying, to be honest. I'm a proud Canadian, but I don't like overpaying investors. So I go to US and go to US. One year I was in probably 4 or 5 different markets. I go to like 10, 12 trips, and basically for education, I go to see all these brokers, and eventually I settle down to my market, which is the Midwest. And so long and short is, I bring my people, my team who signed up to the market, and I bring them to see the market, because you know what, you can go online and see online and online and online and online, and you can just like this coronavirus things, you can see all the toilet paper is gone until you actually go to superstore. It's like, oh, you know what? That's still something still able to purchase. In real estate, it's the same. You can listen, see online, watch a lot of news. When you go to actual place and site visit or market domination, I call it, you can actually see everything. You can see why we invest in this thing, because the job is here, the property is still have a lot of opportunity. It's not going down just like in Calgary. Sorry, whoever invests in Calgary. You can do a lot of tons of things. You can buy properties at 30 to 50,000, even after the decade-long appreciation or ascending trend we have since 2008 of the U.S. market. So we're talking about a lot of opportunity in the U.S. But I digress a little bit. So that's why I say I do this consistently, because in Calgary, I changed the boot camp, the meetup's name. I changed it to the best. A little bit self promoting, but you know what? I do want to be the best. I do want to be the best to give the best information to you guys in terms of multifamilies, in terms of consistencies. I don't think anyone who is local in Calgary is dedicated like it's us to basically months in and months out, to provide free educations and networking opportunities to multifamily investors or real estate investors who have a keen interest on investing in multifamilies. So I just want to show that this is me. So I have been a magazine. I've been speaking and write books with Brian Tracy. So he's my guy, and also do marketing. So because it's very important. That's how you attract investors. By the way, the investors is really important part of your flow. You have to have the deals. You also have to have investors, right? In order to do that, you have to do what is necessary, and that's I said it and I said it again. Necessary capital doesn't mean that you go to a job and work for the capital. It means that you be the persons to do the necessary things to be the proficient enough that you can attract the capital. So that's why I have this meetup, because I have such a strong strive that I want to pursue this. I want to share. I want to be the best multifamily group in Calgary. So I do this consistently. So who's your target audience? Where can you find and meet your audience, and the what and the how, and that's what I'm going to share today. So I'm going to just go back a little bit. First, have you guys download? So I'm going to go to the slides. By the way, I'm just going to go to for the ones that who have you guys able to download the Google Drive slides? Which is this one. Everyone? So go over you guys. I put it on the meetups. If you haven't, I give you a little bit of time. I want you to download and follow with me. I can't see everyone's. I'm gonna find a way if I can see the chat. More chat. Okay. Download the slides. Okay, thank you, Raul. Okay, I'm seeing. So let me see. I'm gonna mute everyone. Mute. Just give me 1 second. I'm just going to do just going to mute so all the participants except myself. think all of you guys has been mailed, and just except me. So please download that, which is this guy. And for all you on, if in the Facebook, please go to the Zoom, because that's where we have, you can actually see it much better on the Zoom, I think. Okay, so moving on. So who? So go down the list. First thing is family and friends, and then you have social groups. And you have clients, employers, property owners, equity lines. I'm talking about your equity lines, hot money lenders, and go to REITs and find them. Association, angel investors, crowdfunding, private equity groups, pension funds, family offices, social media. I know that's going to stand out because it happens to me, and sport clubs. If anyone's coaching kids sports clubs, church groups, and friends gatherings. The reason why I'm showing it here because the fact is there's almost unlimited amount of people you can go talk, and you will never know whether they actually interested to invest or they have capital to invest. So I want you to do a little bit exercise. Circle one that you think you can target. And usually in here I would be really interactive with my groups, but I want you to circle one. And on the Zoom chat, everyone on the Zoom chat, that's how I can interact with you guys without you guys speaking. And just type it out. If Cooler say that I want to focus and target church group, type in church groups, and same as everyone else. I want to see you guys focus on one. Give me a couple examples. Which one you want to focus? Because by the way, the whole list is by no means is exhausting, and that's you can talk to friends, you can talk to your teacher, you can talk to your employee, you can talk to your coworkers, you can talk to all of those people. Basically, they are basically your surroundings that you can actually find capital. So I want you guys to type it. I'm gonna type it first. I'm gonna type friends, angel investors, Cooler. Very good. You're doing awesome. Okay, next. Okay, social media. Jada, nice. I love it. More than one. Okay, Scott is really greedy. He wanted to do social groups and coworker. I love greedy people. And I would say the friends. And Nishan say that associations, nice associations. Yeah, that's a big one, by the way. I don't particularly raise a lot of capital from associations, but I triple guarantee you, that's where you find a lot of rich people who are ready to be invest. Julian say families. Why? I'm looking for your response. I'm waiting for Why response. You haven't typed it. Why? So. Scott say, although I never thought of kids sport, but start thinking with my daughter in the spring. Scott, the reason why it's a kids sport is because how many times you're going to go and see your kid's parents, so to speak. If you're coaching or if you are doing sport, you're probably doing 1 to 3 times a week. And the reason is, and I'm going to talk about raising capital. There's 3 things. The secret of raising capital is K, L, and T. And I'm going to type it out. It's KLT. KLT. Of raising capital. Because if you try to raise capital, you have to master KLT, and if you I'm gonna tell you what is the T. The T basically means trust. And if you cannot create the trust with your investors, you're not going to be raise capital. You're not going to be raise capital. Down the list, I say social media is obviously really down the list. I put it in here because I have personal experience. I can able to do that. But obviously, you still have to be able to be infused, genuinely infused the trust factor for people who are able to raise capital. So circle that. And you share, I love it. And I actually have one slide down there saying that. Okay, so this is continuation of the last slides. And second question is for you guys. Who is saying that? So I see a couple guys saying that family and friends. Who is saying that I will never ask my family or friends for money? Who is saying that? Be really honest. Be really honest. Who would say friends or families here? Right, we would say the friends. Julian say families. Scott, the K and the L is I will share with you later. My mentors once told me is like, when I was starting to do business, I'll tell you a story. His name is Sunil, and he's really famous in Toronto. And he tell me his story is like at the beginning of doing business, he's let me sit down. I think the audio is probably better. So whenever he was doing investment at the beginning, his father tell him that you cannot do business with the people you know. Or yeah, basically you cannot do that. You should do it with strangers, right? And that's his story. Basically, his father tell him that you're supposed to do business with the strangers. The fact is, like, it's really hard to do business with stranger, because the fact is, like, if you don't know me, and I am coming here and talk to you, say that I want you to invest with me, and think about that. That's almost like silly. But the thing is, like, why I say that invest with families or friends? Because they trust you, and based on statistics, 75% of the private money come from family and friends. And anyone know why is that high? It's because of the trust factor. So and I say that KLT. So Scott, I tell you, what is the K? The K is the know. Is the know. KNOW, knowing you. So they have to know you first, right? If I don't know you, I'm not going to do any business with you. That's number one. And then the number two is I have to like you. I know a lot of people, but there's a lot of people I like, there's a lot of people I don't like. And to be honest, there's two separate groups, right? You only going to, not even investing or do any business, you're only going to hang out or do anything, whether business or not, to the people that you know first and then like. You have to like them. If you don't see them every week or you don't see them every month, it's pretty much that you don't like them enough. Sorry, but that's the truth. Or you don't think it's important enough. It doesn't necessarily mean that you don't like it, but if you want to do something, you have to know. You have to know. You have basically let yourself know from other people. You have to let other people like you. Is another word of influencing. If you don't like me, and you probably won't come to the meetups, or you don't think I'm trustworthy. I'm just like trying to serve myself all the time. Then it's not a factor that's really likable, so to speak. And the last thing is you have to create the trust. So the trust factor is I cannot say that it's the most important part of any raising capital campaign or jobs or anything that you can do, because you have to, again, the KLT know, like, trust. I didn't learn it from anyone. I learned it from a guy that who were able to is really high end investors. I know him from, again, go to one of the networking event out of the blue. I don't know what he tell me. He's like, Howard, if you want to raise capital, you have to know this. You have to make people trust you. I was like, how do you make people to trust you, right? You have to let people like you first. I was like, and then how do I make people like me now? You have to let people know you first. And then, by knowing means that basically you have to expand your network. If you only know 5 people in the world, and if you only know 5 people in the world, like the truth is it's really hard to raise capital with only 5 people, right? And then let's say now you can expand your networking, and that's why I create meetups. By the way, I create meetups so that you guys can come to meeting and know me, so that you guys can also know each other. Because I don't want you guys to only know me and hear me talk about all day long. I want you guys to know each other. That's why I give you the 30 seconds to get to know the other people. Now you know. You have to make yourself likable for other people. So this guy looks serious. This guy looks solid. This guy's he knows what he's talking about. Then you have to present yourself, learn it, practice it, speak enough so that people will like you. And then once you pass all that, you want to make sure that people trust you. So it's really that, like, I mentioned that it may sound really tough to do that, but I mentioned that earlier. You're either trying to save 5 millions, that's really tough to do that, or to do all those things. Kuda is actually doing that right now, right? And yes. And same as White, and same as Scott, and same as James, same as all of you guys, on this journey. And I'm not, when I say that on this journey, I haven't stopped doing it myself. Because that I haven't stopped. If I have stopped, I wouldn't be promoting myself. I wouldn't be doing Meetup. I wouldn't be doing marketing. I wouldn't be doing posts online. So I'm still doing it while I am telling you guys to do it. So I don't like to be a hypocrite. So you must educate it and update yourself so that tell people, have the confidence, to let them know that you know what you're doing, and that's big part of the trust. If you don't know what you're doing, if you don't know your numbers, if you don't know your market, if you never go and learn about your market, or like underwriting, market research, finding your deals, creating teams, managing your asset, finding capital, you are not doing the thing necessary for you to be a trustworthy. That is just come down to that. Are we good? Everyone's good? Who is lost? Who is sleepy? Who want a break? Just note if you want a break. Okay. Moving on. Who is loving it so far? Who is hated so far? I just want to make sure you guys, this is really different, right? This is really different. This is usually I'm able to walk. Some people will laugh during the meeting. Sometimes I walk really close to you guys and give you a little bit of cake. I give you a pat on the shoulders, when you make sure you wake up. But you guys are all in your own room, so you guys have to do what's necessary to keep you guys awake in the meeting. Second things, where do you find them? Okay, before looking, don't look at the news. Don't look at the notes. Tell me where can you go and meet all these people. Be interactive, guys. Shout if you need to. Where? I need a couple volunteers. Otherwise, I'm gonna be volunteering you guys.
Yeah, so I guess you can go to the Meetup. That's number one.
Love it.
And then just in your workplace, you talk to people. Even though that's not successful for me because a lot of my co-workers actually are not interested because they don't even know real estate. So they're not interested in US multifamily. They think I'm a little bit crazy. But I guess it's still, you can talk it. And the third place, I think, is relating to the who. You can talk to family. But that's my obstacles because for some reason, like I feel shamed or like maybe not shame, but I feel shy to talk to my family. So nobody know, like none of my family members knowing I want to invest in US other than my husband. So that's the thing I probably need to figure out a way to do it. But I did reach out to, and the first place probably to reach out to your long lost friends. I did reach out to two of my friends back to China. So that's the fourth place I can think of.
That's very good. So you mentioned about families, like you call it a shame. I was actually remember last slides I was asking you guys, who are you thinking deep down in your mind when I say that raising capital from friends and family, saying that I was crazy, or it's like what? I was asking you guys the questions. No one's were saying anything. You know what? That's deep down in our culture. I think it's kind of shared between Western or like or immigrants or Asians cultures that deep down in our culture saying that you shouldn't do business with your families, with your friends, and one thing that I give you an example. Who know Walmart? Walmart, the Walmart, the four kids or five kids or four kids of the founder Sam Walton. I think they're the top 10 richest individually. I think like I was just looking at the video, they have like 50 billions each, something like that. They're worth more than the richest men in the world if they combine all their wealth. They do business with each other. So and I can name so many example. That rich people, rich families do each other, and that's why why they have family offices. Family offices usually, like a lot of them is over $1 billion and up AUM or asset under management, or at least 50 millions and up, because they have this family wealth so big they want to open the family offices and basically do investment together or will do things together. The long and short, the thing about this, the reason why I'm talking about we, because I also have that barrier when I want to share that. It's not saying that when I say, day one, when I was starting to invest in investment in real estate, it wasn't the first thing I was thinking, to attract capital from families, you can say. But based on statistics, that is a really high number, and that's with a reason with that. Is because that's where, if you thinking of raising capital, if you have a deal, and a funding deal, so we can talk about it. So I have a deal here, right? Live deal, right? So if I have a deal here and this is bad deal, basically meaning that I know it's not creating a return, it's bad investment, and I don't know the market. I haven't done study enough of the research. I haven't created a team locally in this particular market. Basically, everything is, I just use it as a guinea pig. If you do it, shame on you if you talk to your investors, you know, because you can only do it once. If you bring a deal that is bad, that is you don't know it's gonna work, and you haven't done the due diligence, you haven't done you haven't talked to the broker, you haven't figured out all the details how to raise rent. But we're not talking about that. I know you're not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you find a deal that work. Now you need to raise a capital. Now would you be getting something good for your investors that who is your families? Of course you will. If you have something that is like 20-30% investment, then you will do it. Right? Is it better now? I think Gary just tell me. Is it better? No echo? Can you hear me? Okay, good. So you really, when you're raising capital, you basically envisioning that you want to bring a deal that's so good that you want to share with families. If you want to share something good, you want to share with your family first. Isn't it true? You want to share with something that you love, and you know that is a good thing. That's how I'm looking at it. And I'm not saying that you bring a deal that that may not work, and using it as a guinea pig. And I'm not talking about that. If you need to find investors and you know this is a good deal, you're going to be telling your family and friends that you love, and you know that they will support you because they want you to be successful. You want to bring them that deal. So that's what I'm talking about. So that's why I want others to share. Without looking again, where would you think of other than meetups, other than family and friends? Where can you find all these people? Anyone? Actually, raising capital. Here you go, George.
Can I go ahead?
Go ahead.
Okay. On a different project, I had found out that getting third-party reference actually works. So if I speak to a friend or an acquaintance who knows someone I have an interest in the organization I'm going to, I found out that third-party references does a lot of more magic for me than me just going to knock on the doors and asking them to give me an opportunity to make a presentation.
Basically, is a referral. Then the reason why you can is better because you're not cold, right? You're going in because you already know that person's, or somehow you got a referral. And basically, it come back to the trust factor. You're gonna trust this guy. He's gonna trust you much better than he's trusting a guy on the street that come in. You know what? I just sent you an email. I want to meet with you and talk about investment. That's basically what we're talking about, right? That's very good. So I have give you a few example here. Say our REIRs, like local real estate associations, who have go to local REIR in Calgary, Alberta. By show of hands. Scott, perfect. Joel, who else? Anyone else? So I have experience going to REIRs, and I try different things because let's just talk about my experience. One thing that I find is actually talking at REIRs is actually really cheap. Especially in Calgary, you can go up and speak for $300 and for for 3 minutes, and you, in front of you have exposures to 150 investors, and I do that. Would you be able to create a lot of relationships meaningfully? No, but can you meet a lot of people at local REIRs? And out of every 10 investors, every 5 to 6 want to do something. And most of them, they're actively looking at deals that works. So I go to REIRs and meet them. If I can speak, I will speak. and I go to social groups, right? And the best way, I didn't say that, is like create your social groups. You know, create your meetup group, create your Facebook groups, create your own group, so that you control the logistics of that. You know, but if you're not doing that, you know, then go to social group, go to meetups, go to other meetups. Don't only just come to my meetups. Go to other meetups, and be consistent, right? And there's one thing I didn't mention is be really consistent on what you're doing. Whether you are, because consistency is, you know, I give an example. You can't just say that I only do it this month and then don't do it next month, right? Because it's when it's like, you know, it's almost like if you want to go to buy groceries, and you go, let's say you go to Walmart to buy groceries or superstore, they can't just open on one day or one weekend. They have to keep opening, like, and that's and they have to open this weekend and also have open next weekend, and you have to consistently doing it, right? So the message is, be consistent, no matter where you're doing it. You know, I'm committed. I find one thing, I'm committed to my meetup groups and spend the time, energy, and providing values and cultivating, doing the marketing, and be consistent whatever you're doing. If you're talking to your coworkers, so why you talking about that? You're talking to your coworker and your family. Again, be consistent. You know, don't be a pest. You know, that's the difference between. I watched that last time. That's the difference between pest and a consistent, or like never give up. You don't want to be that person. It's like, you know, do you invest? That's different. I'm talking about if you keep doing what you're doing, if you keep going to meetups, keep going, talking to your circle of people. You know, sometimes you can talk about real estate. You know, by show of hands, you can tell me if you have experience. You can talk about real estate without actually telling people that invest with me. You know what I'm talking about, right? You can say that, you know, I'm still going to multi-families, meetups, and I'm doing this. I'm looking at deals, you know, consistently. When you talk about this, like, there's two things, and you know, you're creating rapport. You're talking about the live deal. You're talking about what you're doing consistently. So, when you raising capital, this is the message I want to tell you. You know, you know, the same as why I still have this online meetup, because I want consistency. Because consistency is the one single thing you can do, and you can do without cost. You can always talk about, you know, when you're meeting with friends, you talk about real estate. You know, don't say that in such a way that, you know, invest with me, but you can talk about what is the market like in Calgary, what's the market like in others. Get educated, but talk about those things in social group. Crowdfunding platform. Who know what I'm talking about? Crowdfunding platform. Show of hands. Great. So crowdfunding platform is, in Canada, we're not as big, because in US they have something called Jobs Act. It's basically is a jumpstart regulations signed by Obama when he was a president. It's basically changed the whole thing. You know, changed the whole thing on how people can actually invest in real estate by using crowdfunding platforms. I have not successfully raising fund online with crowdfunding platform, but I've seen many people who are successfully doing it, so it works. So where can you find them? And if you're interested, later on I have a list. In fact, 5 years ago I was on the urge of trying to create my own crowdfunding platform, but let me know if you want the list. Okay. And then meetups, you know, my meetups are the meetups, but no matter which one, I wouldn't say no matter which one you're gonna do it, meaning that to consistently meet them, be consistent. You know, if you're doing meetup, be consistent. If you're doing real estate, consistent. If you are meeting, if you're coaching, be consistent, go in the group, and have an intention. I can't say it often enough. Have an intention going in that, that, you know, you always have to have intention in life, by the way. You always have to be intentions in terms of how do you, when you go into every I would say every networking opportunities. In the beginning, when I hear this, I think it's very crazy. You know, it's like at the beginning I was like, someone tell me, it's like, you have to have intention. What do you mean? Like I have to know that I'm gonna do something? Yes, you have to. At the beginning, I remember going in and someone tell me that you have to be with these intentions. You know, for example, today I wanted intentions that I do a fucking good jobs on these meetups, online meetups. So I have to be intentions. So when you're going in, if you have the intention of raising capital, it doesn't mean that every day you're going to get capital. I don't mean that for sure. I don't mean that. But what I'm saying is, I want you guys to think about that. When you go into that, let's say we are networking association, don't be investor A, okay? You know what I'm saying? When I say investor A, you know what I'm talking about? No, okay. What I mean that is, don't be the typical investor. That's what I mean. You know, typical investors sit there and just trying to mingle, right? What I mean by that is, just trying to mingle. You're probably going to get 5 business cards, right? If you have all been years, you know what I'm talking about. You probably you go in there having intentions. Of course, I were the same guys that only got 5 business cards at the beginning too, right? But having intention meaning that going in, trying to be like basically mean this. If you want to raise capital, have it in your mind, prep it yourself, have a mental game ready enough when you're going in that you say that you want to raise capital. So now what are you going to do, right? You want to probably stand out. You probably want to create long-lasting relationships. Let's just take this meetup for example. If you're going to come in every meetups month in and month out, you want to be just attendees, or you want to be the star investors that when I say that I have a deal here, or when White said that she has a deal, then or you say that you have a deal, then I would jump to you, right? Basically, like if you can think about it that way, meaning that prep yourself, be the really informed investors, be the active investors, that when you say that you have a deal, people want to jump to you. You know what I'm saying? So have intentions going into any kind of event that I'm going to be not just a investors. So I don't know whether I'm clear, but that's basically what I mean. So have intentions going in that, you know, I'm gonna meet, let's say, have a goal. Like, let's say what I mean, like meet 10 people. If not only people, only 2 or 3 people, have a goal. Meet 10, 15 people, you know, and then make an intention that, you know, I'm gonna follow up with that. After I'm gonna follow up with this 5 people. Let's say you leave 15 people, I'm gonna follow with 5 people for coffee and things like that. Have intentions that do something. You're not gonna be able to raise capital every time, but having intentions, saying that you're just gonna go there meetups, and same as my meetups, right? Having intention when you go into meetups, having intentions, you know, I'm going to be the sharp guys that, you know, other people will notice me. You know, that's kind of like that's what I mean by that. So how is everyone doing? Good, thank you. And so a lot of you guys don't want to see me on the picture. I can see what you guys smiling a lot. But do you guys just do you guys want a break, or you guys want to keep going? Keep going. Okay. So what are you gonna say to your audience? And I say elevator pitch. I say good presentations, one-on-one pitch, real pitch. Who know what I'm talking about when I say pitch? By the way, back it up a little bit. Everyone has to participate, guys. You're so quiet. Tell me, what do you mean? Like, who knows what I'm talking about? Type it or say it. Doesn't matter. I don't care about echo. Who knows what is a pitch?
The elevator pitch is like probably in 60 seconds to talk to whoever you meet with. Who are you? What are you doing? What are you passionate about? That type of thing. Just promote your brand, personal brand, and your business.
That's it. Within a really short period of time. So elevator pitch is that, but basically pitch is basically sales presentations Gary talked about Ryan's talked about is right. But there's also a different kind of pitch, and there are suitable for different kind of purpose, right? The elevator pitch is basically so Jada talked about this is get your prospect attention. That is correct. So some of that is in the slide form, but some of that is in an oral form. Most of them, when you say that pitches, usually is like you have to get their attentions, right? You have to get their attentions within a really short period of time. How do you catch their attentions? To basically you're not going to get an investor. You may or may not, but it doesn't matter. But you're going to leave a lasting impression. That's what I mean by that. So elevator pitch, what you say to basically what it means basically if you have 30 seconds with this very important persons that's stuck inside the elevator, what you can tell. To this person's what do you do? So think about that, right? I'm gonna give you so everyone pull out this. And go to the page number, I don't know page, I think it's like page, saying at the page number 3 with the questions, what are you going to say to your audience? I want to write you down, or even write down on your notepad, doesn't matter. What do you say on your elevator pitch, right? But actually, by show of hands, who have an elevator pitch right now? No? Perfect, that's the fantastic opportunity for you guys to practice now. Okay, write down your elevator pitch. We may or may not share it. Write like that. We're gonna share it. I'll give you a couple minutes. I'm gonna get some water. Okay. Good. For all you guys in Facebook Live, make sure you guys go to the meeting. Make sure you guys go to the meeting and on the Zoom, that's as a part of the link. Make sure you guys go to the meeting. Joe, you done? Who's ready to share? That's your free time, free airtime that you can share your elevator pitch, guys. Don't be shy. Just look up when you're ready. Scott, you ready? You want to share? You want to share yours?
Sure.
Okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. So my I would be obviously, my name is Scott. I'm a real estate investor from Calgary. Currently working with a single family deal that I converted to up down, legalized and stabilized. Looking to transition into multifamily scale, and currently in the market research phase, but looking to purchase in the near future.
Fantastic.
So I want to share mine, but I just don't know if it's too technical, like too, when people, if not too familiar with me, maybe it sounds very strange, like.
Go ahead.
But
Right.
yeah, so my name is Wei. I'm a commercial real estate investor with a focus on U.S. multifamily. My current market is in Ohio. I'm looking for deals that is around 50 unit size with value-added opportunity, which can generate over 6% return when going in, and up to 12% return after 2 to 3 years stabilization.
Fantastic. Just who you are. Don't be shy. And tell people what you do, right? And the best type of elevator pitch is to get people attention. It's basically after you speak, they want to hear more about you. It's kind of like the like curious factors, like, oh, this guy sounds interesting, right? It's like, oh, this guy's special. You want to do that. That's kind of like, because like when you think about this, when you have the elevator pitch, you kind of want the other person is like, huh, I want to learn more about that. This guy's like, sounds really interesting. It's just like Scott have like, guitar, get the guitar at the back of the wall. It's like this, like, that I'm looking at his image. It's like, this guy's must be playing music all the time. Yeah. So you want to have that kind of it's like wow factor, or like, pique people interest, want to know more about that person. Like, this is special, you basically want to say that this is special. I have to learn more about it. So, anyone else want to share the elevator pitch? No? Okay. My elevator pitch changes all the time, because like, you want to get to the point that you're comfortable at any moment, that you can basically have a response. So this is my elevator pitch. I'm a real estate investor. I invest in U.S., Canada, have just under 100 units in this market. And I also invest in Asia. My thing is, I really like to educate people. I have my house. I have my own meetups groups, over 250 people. I also teach and speak in front of over 800 people in Boston. So I do real estate education all the time, and partner with investors who are looking for great returns in great market that is stable and basically save asset. What you see today is, on last week, that's the Dow Jones dropped 8,000 points. It's exactly why I don't invest in stock market, and it's exactly why I invest in multifamily with my investors. So if you want to, if you want to check me out, go online. I'm all over the place, and if you want to come to my meetups, come join me, and we talk about multifamily all the times. So it's no perfect, a pitch, but you really want people to it's kind of like, people give business card, like this is your verbal business card. You want them to go hunt you down. So next things is presentations, group presentation. You're going to sometimes you're going to develop group presentations. For example, this is a group presentations that I developed to talk about meetups. But sometimes you're going to be develop group presentations, and so I think even who is that writing it? I think one person's writing here. Sales presentation. I forgot. I think it's anyway, I lost it. But so you have group presentation a lot of times. It's what you do and you have to be prepared. I do presentations. I never do presentation before, but I do it like at least 12 or like sometimes 15 a year, and you have to change it over the year, and you make it better. Basically, it's information you write down slides or video. By the way, video is the best form of doing a pitch. Because anyone's really serious about marketing themselves nowadays have the video platform. If you go to any influencer, they have the elevator pitch, but the most important, they have the video pitch, right? They do it all the time. The key thing is don't be scared to do it, and don't be scared to share, and because you know what, if everyone is no good to learn how to do the pitch anyway. Everyone's no good. That's the truth. Everyone don't know. No one's know how to do the pitch, but you only get to know better by you keep doing it. I can't stress it more enough. That's no better way to consistently doing, whether group presentations, whether it's Meetup, whether it's online, whether it's sharing informations with your people. If you keep doing it all the time, you're gonna get better. One-on-one pitch. Who do one-on-one coffee with people? Show of hands or note. Perfect. Scott, you got it. Anyone else? Cooler, do it. Yes, okay. How about other people? Type it. So one-on-one pitch is probably the best time that you can have exclusive. Basically, we mentioned that you have this time that you're stuck with this guy, whether it's investor or not. That you're gonna have this 30 minutes, 40 minutes, or an hours that you're gonna be able to. So basically, it's a time that is very important because you like if this is your first time that you do one-on-one pitch, I remember my first one doing coffee with people is definitely disastrous. So I guess the more you do it, just like those things, the more you do it, the better it is. And there's a certain truth. Whether it's like coffee or lunch, it doesn't matter. But you kind of need to if you do hundreds, let's say I don't know what hundreds is the same, but I think for everyone's have kind of like the numbers. Now I'm not stressing to meeting people. Some people not so natural. They're meeting other people, right? And I was that. So you when you go into to see that people or see the persons one-to-one, you really have to know how to make that connections, and that's by one-on-one coffee. And so basically it just means the coffee meetings. But whether you're going to be earning that, I think a long time ago I remember that one person is saying, if you meet someone, the first 5 seconds is going to determine whether you're going to spend another next 60 seconds with him, whether that is like online, meetups, face-to-face, anything. And then from that 60 seconds, you're going to how good of you utilize the 60 seconds to deliver your message is going to be affect the next 5 minutes, and then go on and on 5 minutes, and then the coffee meetings, and then keep going ongoing relationships. So it's kind of like emails. I write email. Scott said that I wrote pretty good this time, so I take it from him. And he said that I use an email as an example because your subject title is to determine whether they're gonna open it or not, and how good of the email. So Wednesday, now you're into the content of that. So how good that the email written or catered to that person is going to determine whether it's going to be clicked on the link or not. Now, when you click on the link, is it going to be purchase or it's going to be meeting, some sort of a closing, some sort of ongoing relationships, moving to the next steps. So so that's basically what it means. So if you are doing an elevator pitch properly, and the next is going to let's say a phone call probably, and now you're gonna meeting in the person properly, basically meaning capturing the interest. And now you have one-on-one meetings, and now on the first one-on-one meeting, you're probably not gonna talk about, let's invest with me. No, I'm not talking about that. Okay, you're probably gonna be warming the relationships, and then keep warming the relationships. My mentors tell me that money is like raising capital is kind of like this. It's called money tree, money pot. Like it's You know, the old saying is like money doesn't grow on trees is actually false. It's actually not true in this case. So when he say that money pot is basically you have to kind of think about that. It's kind of like a seed. When you put a seed into the ground, you have to water it, you have to shine it, you have to care for it. When it comes for it, you have to take care of it. So think about that, like your relationship with your investors or anyone, actually, it's like that. By the way, you have to care for it. You have to take. It's a relationship you have to give it love, give it care, in order to germinate to become something big. So from elevator pitch, from phone calls to meetings, and then really eventually talk about potentially investment relationships, it's like that. So it's kind of like this. You can't get someone to invest with you the first time that you meet with them. It's just the truth of that. You have to build that relationships. And by the way, our security law doesn't allow us to do it anyway. You know, you have to create the relationships, you know, to be able to raise capital, right? You have to build on the warm relationships. Scott is smiling. It's very true, right? You have to build the relationships that is warm, hot, you know, this guy's, you know, really solid, you know. That's the truth. Is like, you know, that's the old saying, you know, if he keep performing, if he keep doing the right thing, we call it gut feel or whatnot. It's you know, this guy looks serious. You know what? I feel like that maybe I can do something about that. Whether that's big investors or small investors, it's the same. It's the same. The difference is just number of zero that they can invest. But we are all human. We behave the same. If I think I'll talk about this. You know, use normal investors, small investor, as your paying ground so you can practice your pitch. You know, if you talk to, because like the truth is, out of the 100 people that maybe, out of 1,000 people, maybe 10 of them is only investor, and then only one of them is actually have invest with you. Out of 10,000 people, maybe that out of that 1,000 people that who want to hear more about investment, and then 10 people who actually have money, and then one person actually have big money to invest. So when you talk to your first 100 people, you may not talk to the big investor guy, but it doesn't matter, because you know what? When you keep on talking and talking, when you keep perfecting your pitch, when you keep doing it, you're gonna keep doing better. It's just the fact of that. If you keep doing it, and you keep doing it, and keep doing it, you're just gonna keep better. You're just gonna be doing better and better. So, real pitch of any big stage pitch is the same, but you learn. You know, by the way, you learn as you keep doing this kind of pitch. You know, when you do elevator pitch or one-on-one coffee, is 1-to-1 settings. You're not needing to like doing 1,000 fans. You don't need to go on Facebook. You don't need to go to, you know, talk to Asian people. You don't need to do that. But you can you build on the one-on-one. But when you go on like big stages, when you go on talk to a lot of people, then you kind of have to create a report one by one. And that's kind of like, you know, skills that you can learn about it. But you're gonna learn about how you're gonna say what you can say. By basically, people give you a lot of validations. You wonder why I want to look at your face, because I'm constantly looking at you guys. I want to get the validations whether I'm doing a good job or not, right? Because I want you guys to not I'm doing good, or no, this guy's like very boring. You know, it's the same. So when you're doing your one-on-one, you constantly getting feedback from the people, you know, the person sitting across from you, whether you're doing a great thing or not. Because you want to do that. You that's how you get. You know, Grant Cardone talk about this. Is you know, record the video and then keep looking the video. I mean, after that, whether it's pitch call or like you when you hear about on the audio, you want to perfect yourself. That's the same here. Anyone going to some sort of pitch? Raise a hand. Anyone doing some sort of pitch next week, next month? Forget about social distancing. Anyone? Oh, what are you doing, Scott?
I'm just going for coffee on Tuesday.
Great. So go in with an intention. Wait, sorry, Cooter, you said that you're going for a meeting too, right? Is it you, Sean? Good.
Yeah.
this is the plan. Just to start going on networking events if they are available when this virus goes away.
Very good. Yeah. You know, I didn't put it here. But on my training course, I actually stole from my mentor, and he said that you have to do 2 on 2, 2 and 2, when you want to do this full time. Who want to do this full time? We want to be real estate investor full time. Okay, you really have to do 2 and 2. First 2 is to put in 2 offer a weekly. 2 offer weekly. So if you need to put in 2 offer weekly, meaning that you probably have to look at 20 deals weekly, right? In order to be able to put on an offer for those 2. So now I'm not talking about that, it's just a side topic. But you really have to at least go on 2 networking events every week. So at the beginning, it's really tough. Like it's 2 networking events every week is really tough. But trust me, once you do it for years, it becomes natural. It becomes natural. This is networking event, by the way. If you take advantage of it, and use it as your networking event, this is a networking event, right? But think about 2 networking event, because many times event, whether it's called networking event, is really in your mind. Maybe it's just a coffee, but you can turn it as a networking event so that internally, even if that guy, that deep down that he doesn't want to invest, use it as a training ground. I remember when I was working in oil and gas company, I always have this coffee dates, right? I know this is one thing. When you're doing real estate, many who show a hand, who have that experience. When you're doing real estate and when you constantly talking about, sharing about, and no matter what, whenever it's talking about engineering the project, you always talk about real estate. That's my experience. And then people always want to talk about real estate with you, right? That's my experience. I don't know whether that you guys share the same experience. I remember I was the guy, I was engineer by trade, and I just hate my job. I just hate engineering, right? And I don't know what I was doing there. I was making decent income, but I just don't like it. So one day, this is marketing, okay? This is a little bit off topic, but I think it's worth sharing. I just decided, fuck that. I just going to delete my job title, my Gibson Energy, jobs just delete it from LinkedIn. I was so scared. I was scared as hell. I was thinking, my boss will know, my boss will care, my boss is going to fire me, and he didn't. He didn't do it for 2 years. So I was so scared in the meantime. Is I think I'm like, oh my goodness, people is gonna so care. People care about the virus more than about you now, guys. So I long story short is I would set up meetings, and sometimes people just, I'm just the real estate guy as an engineering firm or engineering client side. And then people always ask about what do you think about real estate? This is the best way to do your to be the so-called the expert in your circle, because remember the no trust. You have to be the sort of better than them in terms of the level skills, so that when they're looking for investment advice, they're gonna look at you, right? Whether they're gonna do something with you, to be honest, eventually they will if you position yourself good enough. So I remember I have all these coffee meetings with all the coworkers. Sometimes know, sometimes don't know. Sometimes they just send too many emails. I've been ignoring them because on the jobs I don't really like what I'm doing. And then they will ask me, oh, by the way, do you know about what the market is doing? I'm like, sure. Use it as an opportunity to tell them, you know what? That's what I'm doing. You know what? And you know what? That's positioning. Positioning is something that is not what I'm talking about here today, but positioning is down to how you when you look at this. Use myself as example. I want you guys to think about that. When I want people to think about Howard Lau, I want them to think about I am a multifamily investors, right? So I will let them to think about that. I will create the videos. That is what I do. I create the meetups. That's what I do. And I create a pitch. That's what I do. When I meet with people one-on-one, and that's what I do. So this is about consistency on messages when you're going to market yourself. That's what I do. And you do it on one-on-one coffee. And you know what? I guarantee you, when you pick commercial or multifamilies, investing opportunity as your pitch, as your niche meaning that that's what you do, you're here. 95% of people invest in here, whether it's like residential, you don't want to do it, you want to do it here. When you're in here, even you don't know single families, they're going to answer you about that because they think this is better. Because of course this is better. It is better because it's harder. So position yourself not in here, position yourself in here. You know what I'm saying? And then the reason I'm saying it because I'm doing it myself. I'm sharing with you, that's what I'm doing. Okay, how we are going to present them, you know, and everyone's following good. Awesome. How are you going to present your informations? Meaning that what you're going to give them to see, right? So we talk about now. So now again, go back to our topic 4W. So you're gonna so you identify who's your target, where you're gonna find them. So by the way, do go to those networking events. Do go to those meetings. Do go to those meetings in the mindset that you're gonna target those people. You know, so that's who and that's where. And then you work yourself so you know what to say, and you know and by practice, by the way, you know, no one's know what to say like from day one. But if you keep going to that, and if you keep that in mind with intention, remember what I'm talking about. Then the last thing is like when they're gonna answer you about. So okay, this sounds cool, cooler. This sounds cool. You know, I have been meeting you so many times. So can you give me something to see? This is the part. So now they said that they want to know more because you have to be ready. You can't say that, you know what, let me come back to you in 2 weeks, man. You're like, yeah, that's fantastic. You know, let me give you, like, I have some, like, I didn't bring it. You know, is the first meeting is often best to not bring anything. I remember I have many things. I bring in the whole bag, like, with me. I bring in my books and my training, everything with me all the time for first meeting. I used to. Now I don't do it anymore. No, it's so silly. Now we're saying, fantastic. Let's just go on another meetings. I didn't bring it because, you know, I just want to know more about you. I didn't want to do anything specifically, but, you know, of course I would love to. You know, let me bring my property package. I am looking at this deals and this 12% cash on cash, and we're gonna get out and in and out in 2 years. And we talk about whole market, why we go into this market. I have this video, pictures, and why don't we do that? Why don't we come out and have a meeting and talk about this property package? You know, you have to you know, I don't do this smoothly in the first time, but I do it so many times that, you know, you the same property package anyway, by the way, the same example property package. It's not like you create one property package and then you have to create different property package. Now I can create a property package within 2 hours. Now at the beginning I did it in 2 weeks, right? So talk to me, right? Come and learn about how to create those, and I talk about it all the time with my boot camps. People who come to my boot camp know that I share how I create my property package, and how to create, and even some of the legal document, OM, PPM. I talk about that. So why is that really important? Tell me, why do you think those documentations are important? Type it or just shout it. Business plan, property package, OM. The underwriting templates, what I mean, the numbers is important.
Credibility.
Who would say that? Sorry, who say that?
I did, Scott.
Okay, Scott. Perfect. Fantastic. That's it. So basically, this is the time to shine. You know, you say, you talk the talk. Now show me what you do isn't matching the talk, right? So you better be ready. You know, I'm not saying that you have to be ready now, but I'm giving you a hand. So, like, you know, I didn't have a business plan from day one, right? I didn't have a property package from day one. I didn't have an offering memorandum. I didn't know what are those. I don't know what is a PPM, which is in US it's called private placement what is that? PPM, private placement memorandum. Okay, in US. I did have all those. I didn't underwrite so many deals, right? But you start from somewhere. It's just like you're an engineer, you start doing those calculations. You know, if you're an accountant, you start doing those balance sheets, and the first time you're not going to be so good, and you keep doing it, and eventually you'll be so good because you keep doing it. It's the same for me, and if you into the market in 6 months, a year, it's much better than, it's going to be so much better than when you're going in, know nothing about the market or never create a property package. So of course we can't talk about all those things, but you know, business plan is 60 pages easily, property package is like 20 pages, offer memorandum is over 100 pages. But those are the things that back it up. You know, when people are talking about, you at least need to have like something, presentation stack or property package that show that you are serious investors. Even when you're doing single families, right? When investors answer, okay, so the things, single family guys, Wei and Scott, when like let's say you show the investors, like you know, you say that you want to invest, you get a JV partners, you know, single family JV partners, so you have to give something for the other guy to see, right? But you want to create it in a credible way. You either going to have someone to do it for you, or you have other information to make it more pretty. So you have to have those kind of things. It's kind of like if properties or if opportunity is the persons, you need to dress person nicely, which is basically given the proper marketing or the proper documentations. So I say, so okay, again, so look at here, just follow a little bit. Business plan. Do anyone have business plan? Raise your hand. So if you don't, that's okay. Think about that, because like you know, this is if you, let's say if I'm investors, and you say that you know I have this opportunity, very good, and I mean you say that very good, and I say okay, can you show me how you do it, how you execute that? That's the document. You talk about your team, talk about why you do it, your strategies. I just create mine, and it's probably not the first thing you would do, to be honest, but it's something that you have to think about that, because you either can hire someone to do it for you, and basically, but you still have to have all the informations before you can hire someone to do it for you, and talk about your competitions, talk about your market, talk about your strategies, talk about bigly your financials, right? And why, and basically the next 3 years plan how you do it. So I strongly recommend not to do it now, but I strongly recommend think about that. If you're serious about raising capital, that you need to have a business plan. You know, I'm trying to raise multi-million dollars on one of the deal. The first thing I have to write is business plan. Not me. I don't know how to write business plan. I'll hire someone to do it for me. If you're thinking about raising capital, that's a serious thing. So you probably want to think about that later on. Property package, right? Property package, it's just basically it's a package that, you know, this is the package that is like from the brokers. Basically what you do, property package, you converted it into your own format. So let's say my company is Hate to Break, I convert to Hate to Break format. Basically, I will have all my projections, all my branding consistently, not from a broker documentations. So this is what broker give me. I put this into my property package and I give that property package to my investors. Okay, and OM and PPM is, I talk about this offering memorandum, and PPM is just give people confidence. And it's usually it's more later on, but usually you raising multi millions, you need to have that, because that's a requirement. Actually, OM and PPM is actually a legal requirement. You can't even write it yourself. You pay $20,000 to $60,000 for your lawyers to have them to write it for you, and because it need to be it need to be, and then you know what, when you look at template, you can go online and download a lot of different template. When initially, so one person asked me about earlier, can you share about the list of the platform? Jada, I can share. Jada, I can share with you. If you go to one of this platform, they will have so many syndicator. They will have all this OM, property package, PPM. You know, I learned a lot from those guys, because you know what, I just different deals, but they all really look like it's the same. But they all spend about $15K all the way to $60K to create all those documentations legally by lawyer, because it's expensive, because it's by lawyer. The business plan is expensive because it's by financial professional that know how to attract capitals. And the numbers, you know, you have to present the numbers. You can't say that, you know, this deal looks good. This looks like, you know, I'm gonna double your money. You know, it looks like I can double your money in 6 months. You know, you can't just say that. You have to back it up with numbers. You're underwriting. And again, this create credibility, right? In my underwriting costs next week, I'm going to talk about what is the income, what is the expense you're looking at, item by item. You know, item by item. How do you allocate expense? How do you know that rent is coming from like that? You have to know each one of the items, and if you do it long enough, if you do 2 offers a week, meaning that you see 20 deals a week from the brokers, you will have the deal flow to underwrite it. And yeah, so let me skip that because we are running out of time. So we're gonna split through the next sessions, which is the 9 tips of raising capital for millennials. Initially, I target that for millennials because for young people, I think that's the first meeting is about Gen X, which basically my generation, and then this meeting is talk about young people, and then last one is talking for more senior people, older people. But you know, the underlying principle raising capital doesn't change, but your audience change. The reason is this: when you are young, like you know, like some of the people, like when I was young, people tends to, when they look at you to say you want to raise capital, it's not a secret that it's going to be harder for other people who has been around for more time, because they look at you, they immediately judge you. There's ways that you can mitigate that, but the truth is, yes, you're going to be harder to raise capital when you look young. I remember my mentor tell me, you look so young, and you know, I was thinking that, you know, what can I do to so I give you one of the example what I did. I joined a group which is a Rotary group, and basically all of them is 60 and up, and I just go there and I feel like so uncomfortable because and basically I was 37, and then every one of them is like 65 and up all the way to 80, and you know, they talk about people dying every week. It's not even fun. But it's pretty normal for them. But anyway, why I go to that? For 2 reasons. I want to look at how people operate this level works. You know, they usually the high level, really high level, operating high level because they have a lot of business people in that meeting, and the lowest level that I usually sit next to is like VP all the way to CEO, or like people have retiring business. So it helps me to raise capital. It doesn't mean that you have to do it, but I share with you, you have to do things that you think that will help you to get into the groups, you know. Because one thing that I learned is if I'm really uncomfortable, but I can still comfortable with people, I cannot create you know, I can't even strike a conversation. What I talk about is the grandkids and all that, right? And if I can comfortable and get a conversation with them, I can probably be comfortable in doing conversation with any other people. So I did that. So that's my way. That you don't have to do it. But then talk about marketing or meetings or social events. I do that. Just gonna go through that quickly. So I give some 9 tips on raising capital. So I think I even have it. I think it's the last page. So start today. You may say, yeah, it's easy, but you know what? Start today. You can always start today. Set up your schedule so that you can always start immediately. It doesn't mean that you're going to talk to investor today, but set up a schedule for what you're going to do. Set up a goal. You know, Cooter, you set up a goal. Great for you. White, you set up a goal. Good for you. And other people too. And set up a goal. How much money? First thing is how much money you're going to be determined that you're going to raise. You know, set up your goal to yourself and share with others. You know, share with others. Share with me. Share with the group. Share with other people. Share with friends who will support you. Okay. The reason is when you share that, it's 10 times more powerful. Now you're liable. Now someone is holding it. You know what? I said it, but you know it's gonna look bad if I don't do it, right? So yeah, you better do it. You know, we all need that kind of support system. Share that today, and you know, and have a goal, and do it on a daily basis. Think about what you have to do on a daily basis to attract capital. I don't care. You're gonna be, you know, one really good example is like, you know, every one of us have at least know a couple hundred people. You know, like even if you're really antisocial like me, you know, you're gonna find 200 people. Go to your Google, Gmail. Like I was like, I remember like what I started doing is this, like, this is not multi MLM. This is not multi-level marketing. I'm not talking about that. MLM. Just go to your list and see that you at least a couple of hundred people around you that you know what, you're not going to talk to every one of them. I'm not saying that, but basically this is what my mentor told me. Have the 200 people with names, and now you're going to group them in A, B, C, D. So what he tell me is like, you know, group them in A, B, C, D. I was like, what it means? Like basically the A people is like, you know, is the people that you know, not I know, because I know it doesn't matter to you. That person doesn't know me. I'm talking about you. So that you know that have capital and already investing and really successful, and if the right opportunity comes up, then he will jump on it. So let's put it in A category, okay? And B category is kind of the same, but maybe they are not as wealthy, but they're really interested, and they always talk about real estate, but if they just basically a little bit in terms of comfortable or easy, like viability, I would say, classify the next group B, and C and D. So the D basically means that, you know, no matter what I do, they're not gonna do anything. They won't do anything. So classify that. Now immediately A, B, C, D. So now schedule your year, okay? Year, and in meeting all the people in A first, and then B and C. D, leave it later. Okay? But you know, I guarantee you have like what? You have at least booked your next year, don't you? You basically, you know, not everyone, by the way, not everyone's gonna agree to, but you don't say that, you know, I want you to refinance your home. Don't say that. Don't say that you refinance your home and put out your credit card and invest with me. I'm not talking about that, okay? Just to remember the money part, warming the money discussion, the example my mentor tell me, warming the relationships. You know, really smart people, when you do that, they know right at the hand, they know what you're doing. But to be honest, usually the smart people are not offended. Because you know what? They know that successful people do business with successful people. So they want that. You know, just like you guys keep coming for the meetups. Why you guys keep coming back? You know, because you want to do something with anyone. You want to do people who are nice-minded, who have the drive, who keep coming and keep doing what they say, just and doing it again. It's the people. It's those people. So classify ABCD and schedule it. Try to do two every week, you know. And on top of that, if you say that, you know, if you're like me, I only know 20 people years a day, and you know what? Go to your LinkedIn. I remember one time I tried to add like 1,000 people on LinkedIn. You know what? At the end of the day, I suddenly have 2,000 people on my LinkedIn account. Many of that doesn't know me. Who cares? Years later, they know you. You know, if you keep posting, they know you. If you keep showing up and saying, if you keep think this is beyond what we can talk about today. We don't have enough time. But if you keep doing what you're doing, a month in, month out, just like me, I'm talking about Meetup all month in, month out, you know me. Now I become your network. Now you become my network. It's the same. Now you guys becomes your own network if you keep committing. Okay, so that's start today. I think I beat that topic to the death. And you know, I intentionally have the next slides. I'm not going to talk about all 9 points here, okay? But intentionally have the next slides just to motivate you guys, just to show that, you know, when I know some of you guys said, but you know, I don't have capital. You know, you know, the fact is, like, you know, if you have capital, you probably do it already yourself, right? And you know, I want to motivate you guys, like, you know, I don't have the capital. I have a trick questions, by the way. This is totally trick questions. And my trick question is, would it be better off to start with $600 million, or you want to start today with nothing? Let's just say that we have nothing. Let's say we're not millionaire. Okay, I want to see you guys type it. Okay, type it. Would you start with nothing, or you want to start with nothing? Good. Okay. Other people, Kuda say start today. Okay, next, Judah, today. Why not 600 million? Okay, I won't start. Okay, that's good. Good, I love that. Okay, I always say that there's trick questions. I'm gonna do this next one. So this is what 600 millions. This guy, this is his career making. He make this much during his career. Isn't it good, right? And it top it off at 2013-14. You know, when he passed away, I don't know him, and it's just so shocked to me. You know, life is so fragile, and you know, he accumulated a lot. He's a nice guy, you know. And I was like having this conversation because I'm a father as well. I was like talking to myself, you know what? I could be like him. Like, I obviously doesn't have that his kind of wealth, like 600 million. This is like, I don't know how much it's worth, but he this is how much he made. So he was like over the 30 years since 1996. But the truth is, we only got today. It doesn't matter who you are, you only got today. So you don't have to have 600 millions. You only, what I mean that if you have today, you're so much richer than anyone else because you have the time, you can do it. And that's just the message. This is one great book that I'm speeding quite a bit, by the way, guys. I love this book. It's talking about a whole bunch of teachers. You know, who is teachers here? I don't know. Start how to do their investing insurance company. It's called All You Can Do Is All You Can Do. But all you can do is enough. It's by this guy, Williams, A.L. Williams, Art Williams, his name. And if anyone's know Primerica, it's started by a group of teachers, and this is by this guy. I know you're nodding. So this is this guy. And I read this book, it's so motivational. And this group of teachers that don't want to trade the time with pennies. And it's a really good book. Go get it, $10, and just go grab it. I love it. And I'm sure you can go online, Google it, and find like PDF that you can read. But no, this is a really, really fantastic book. Talk about teachers, how this will be succeed. You don't have to really raise their investors and doing real estate deals. And I say that, like, decided today, set goals, move forward. However small, however small or big, doesn't matter. And I skipped number 2. Number 3 is learn from people who have done it. Learn that simple step. If they do it, they have done it. Like my mentors, I hunt them down. I basically train them the whole year. Like some of the you guys could are doing with me whole year, and other guys coming to the meetups, coming to the networking, coming to the boot camps. Learn them. Create win-win relationships, and pay them to do that. Do it with them. My example, I learned a lot from my mentors. Brian Tracy, I say that, you know, how can I do co-marketing with you? You see my book, I do that. Next week, we have the bootcamp. I'm doing it with 5-7 people right now. Let me know if you want to do it, okay? is a paid training, but I'm going to spend whole day underwriting, and I guarantee you, you will know how to, whether you do it or not is different. But after the meeting, you will know how I find a deal, 48 units within 18 months, do renovations, how to create $1.3 million equity with investors, not my own, along with my investor, how to do that. And basically it's just the devil is in the details, how you create the increase in rent, how you do it by validating the market rents, checking the existing historical expense, whether it's true or not, and go do that. Within 18 months, I did that. So talk to me if you want to learn more about information and partner with successful people. I was having an opportunity to partner with my current business partner. This was called Jay. It's not the same guy that I was talking to yesterday. You know, that's what you can do with marketing, by the way. People will come to you different directions when you build the right marketing. And so my current partner, we're trying to close this 40 million deals. And he said, when I say that, I say, well, how do you know me? His family is worth 1.5 billion in his family, and it's really a successful brand in Calgary. I'm not going to disclose it, but I asked him, so why do you want to do something with me? First of all, he doesn't do multifamily. So first of all, now I know that I have a leg up on his family, but he's a rich family. It's kind of a really rich family. But I say, like, why do you want to do something? Why do you want to potentially do something together? He tell me, it's like, because I've been looking at you for the last 3 years. When he told me that, I just shake. So I'm gonna go back a little bit in here. I think is on number 4. How do you present yourself in the information? I intentionally missed this part. Less obvious. I spelled it wrong. I say, hint, look around. Is how do you position yourself? That's what I mean by that. How do you position yourself? Your people that's looking at you do matter. So long and short, people are always looking at you. It's really creepy, eh? But it is. It is. You know, I see a lot of smiling face. But it is. It's people always looking at you. Not in a bad way, right? Like, don't saying that. Don't be a creepy bad way. But you know, if you keep working, I guess look at the ball positive. If you always working on your marketing, if you always working on your deals, if you always trying to educate yourself, if you're always trying to go all this networking, people will notice. People do notice. One thing that I find is, like, you know, at the beginning when I started on my journey, I really discouraging, because what I find is actually the people that are really close to me, like friends and stuff, they're not always supportive. You know, they're not always supportive. What I mean by that is, especially with friends, I would say, like, you know, they don't always jump on you and say, oh, you're a real estate investor, let me invest with you. You know, I'm not looking for that, but you know, it's sometimes like you almost, this is like, you know, I know this is online, but I'm gonna share it anyway. Sometimes like you almost feel like, as I know what you feel when you where you say that you feel like ashamed that you talk about investing with friends and family, because I feel the same. It's like, you know, but don't lose heart. The people who are destined to do something with you, which is you wanted to be the winners, will always come hunt you down if you know what you're doing, if you keep doing what you want. The people who doesn't matter will fade away. Don't say that, because I'm not saying to say that because I want to make anyone unhappy. I'm just saying that the truth. You know, when we're doing things, when here, like everyone's starting here, like this is just a matter of life. And you have your network that constitute who you are today, right? But you are not wanting to always stay at this level, right? You want to go up at this level, higher level. So the people, if you want to go to here, the people that constitute your network, then when you're here now or 10 years ago, is going to change when you go into this level. Meaning that some people, I think it's Mark Twain, say that, you know, 5 people around you will change. That's right. But don't look at it as a negative way. Look at it as a natural. Just think about that, you know, the classmate that you used to go to school when you are 15 years old, 5 years old. You still know them, but you just don't hang out with them. Look at the same in your investing journey, in your business. And you can still be friends with them, but just take my word, not my word, because I experienced that. I feel sad sometimes, to be honest, but it's nothing to be sad about, because you have your ultimate responsibility to do good to yourself first, to your family second, to your society, to your community. You know what I mean by that? You have to do good first, then you're going to take care of family and your immediate families, your in-laws and whatnot, your extended family, and then your other world. So you have to do good first. Don't feel bad if you're leaving some people behind. That's what I'm trying to say. If they're going in a different direction, that's okay. And what is that? Yes. So this my partner saying that, oh, I've been watching you. It's like I was like okay. So I guess what I'm doing all this year matters. So I skipped the 9 tips for raising capital. Take a picture of this. If I don't think I have actually put this on the slides deck. Forget about the top 10 raising capital. It's really simple. Work every single day, and share this with my mentee Cooler. I share with him. Every day you don't have to work 4 or 5 hours, but consistently, every day work on your 1 or 2 hours daily on your goal. Work on your goal. Goal in this case, raising capital is one big thing. Then put on the steps every single day, even just to think about raising capital, even just to pick up a book, raising capital. I have so many books about raising capital because I don't think I'm really good at raising capital. So every single day, if you keep doing it, you're going to get better. Tell me, hunt me down if you want more resources. I'm happy to share. Okay, know your goal, know what you're doing. If you need to raise $1 million by the end of the year, write it down. I have so many goals in here, and anyway, I'm gonna move the computer. But anyway, so many goals around that. People are trying to make myself motivated so many different ways, because that's important. So know your goal, take action every day. But take action every day is really vague. You have to write it down, and at the end when you actually do that, let's say that you're gonna meet two persons, 2 and 2, right? The 2 networking event on a weekly level. Do that. After you do that, check it off. Write it down, because write it down, you see that in front of you. Have some sort of calendar. I have a calendar. I'm really old school. People who know me that I'm really old school. I have the big ass calendar, and I love it. And because that's just how I am. Find your way to work your system, and so write it every single day, your goal, and once you do it, check it. Okay. And read raising capital money books. Think about raising capital. I talk about it. Come to my meetups. Come to my boot camps, and come to my market visits, because you want to be different. Trust me. If you want to raise capital, the reason why my partner want to do something with me, not others, because I'm doing something different. And have someone hold your hand. Someone was teaching me how to do it. I pay a lot of money to do it, and I think it's worth it, because otherwise I was still doing single families. I have a little mixed feelings when I show this, but you know what? I show this because I have so much respect for the woman in front of this. So by the way, I'm on the right hand side here. My woman, my next by me is my wife Mandy, and we always go to all this event. And the couple on the left hand side, they are my mentors. It's really mixed feeling. I share this because my mentor, the lady, just passed away 3 weeks ago. She's the one who pushed me out when I don't know how to go out and market myself. And she said that just go out and do it. Forget about the shame. Forget about people care. My first meetup, 0 people. I was waiting for them for 2 hours, no one showing up. And forget about that, and do it. And I show this because I have so much respect for this lady, and I'm sure she is looking over my shoulders right now and help me to raise some capital too. You need to find your you need to find your cheerleader, and be able to help you and tell you, push you. I was meeting with him, my mentors on the left hand side. every week, every week, every other week, for every time it's like half an hour, and she, like, I mean, he always puts me up with, you know what, do it. Like, I was so dragged, you know, don't believe it, you won't believe it. I was so dragged, as in, you know, every time I have to do deals and meet two people, but you know what, it helps. Like, you know, basically I go for the whole year, and he helped me, and I guess it's kind of gave me a little bit of reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. And so yeah, have someone hold your hand, partner with someone, partner with the big guy. You know, if you know the guys who are 1.5 billion worth, partner with that guy. If you don't know, partner with the next best guy. You know, partner with me. You know, find me. Tell me how I can help you. Borrow track record. I can't stress enough. If you don't have a track record, borrow a track record. Ask how you can borrow a track record. I borrowed my mentor track records when I had nothing, right? You guys still alive? Okay, good. So keep doing what you're doing. I always do. So this is about how to market yourself. You have to learn how to market yourself, not being ashamed of doing it. So I'm doing this 40% off just for today. Ask me about this bootcamp. I still have a couple seats left. I do think people who are serious about how to present the right numbers should come. Scott's coming, White coming, Kuda coming, James coming, and White's partner's coming, Jean's coming, and I don't think I missed anyone. 5 people, right? Scott, Kuda, White, Jane, and James. And so thank you. You are fantastic, and you know, I'm looking forward to see you guys next week. It won't be virtual, okay? It will be. I don't think we have problem. And if you're sick, you know, on the other hand, I don't want to get you guys sick, right? You guys are smiling. We have so much things we can do to make sure that we're healthy. I was running outside. You know what? It's really freaking cold, but I run at -17. I didn't know that when I come back, it's like my whole body was shaking. I ran like 6 kilometers. By the way, I just registered for my marathon 2 days ago, just before they cut it off. You know, I'm starting training. This will be my second marathon. After my first one in 2018. And they, you know, Friday they say that they don't take any registration. I'm like, I literally 5 hours ahead of, they say that they take no more registration. Deep down, I think they want people to keep going, because they have like 12,000 people attending the event apparently every year. I know that can be risky, but you know, we still have a lot of time from now until the end of May. But I'm training, and wish me well, wish me luck, and yeah, that will be some hell training from now until the end of May. I need a new shoes for sure. My current shoes is no good. I'm waiting for my new pair of shoes coming in the mail. And why don't you guys, okay, one by one, I want to say goodbye to you guys and say hi to you guys and questions for you guys. Just try to unmute every one of you guys, okay? I'm gonna do it. If it's like too much, I will change it back. Unmute. Can you guys unmute yourself? Okay, good. Can you guys do it? So quiet here. Feel like I'm talking to myself. I want to hear you guys alive. Not.
Hi, baby.
Hey, man.
Hello.
Hello. It's not that bad, right?
No.
Yeah. Questions?
A good turnout today. That's all I got to say. What a good turnout.
Is it James?
Yes, sir.
You're the youngest guy in the room that speak like a 50 years old baby. Okay. So I think it's a really good meeting today. It's as you know, I think it's really good. I just say it from my perspective because I I never do this. Like I do this, but I don't think I do this full blown set off like free screens like Facebook and Zoom and the presentations. I think I survived it, don't you think?
Working well.
Very good.
Love you guys.
Work out.
Questions? Questions?
I have a really basic question because I am new here.
Go for it. No, never.
Here's just like a comprehension thing that I haven't locked down. So if you're saying, okay, for example, raise maybe 5 mil in, I think the figure that you used was like 5 mil in 5 years, something like that. Does that mean you can raise capital without having something to purchase in hand at the time? Can you just be like collecting? Are you just getting promissory notes so that when you do find the right property, people then bring their cash to the table?
So it's a very good questions. Because when I start raising capital, it's always this questions is popping up always. Like, you know, do I have a deal on hand now, ready to go? Or no, I know, like, I mean, when I was doing it, or do I just, like, you know, keep on raising? So like the easy thing is this. Let's say you go into your close like uncle and aunt, and they know you well and they want to help you, they want to invest with you, let's say that. And you go in there and you set a goal. I say that you set a goal, but obviously you don't tell everyone that I have this goal. You only tell the people you trust, and you have this goal for the support reason. So the goal thing is really for you to know that you are going to take constant actions to achieve that goals. But the reality is, at the beginning, when you're starting out new, you're going to take whatever you can take, right? And meaning that, I mean, you're going to raise whatever you can raise to buy whatever you can buy if you need to build a track record at the beginning. That's what I mean by that. So 5 million or not, let's just say that even if it's like 1 or 2 million, let's just say that for the first year, 2 years. Now, it comes down to now you need to show the deals, right? Because the first thing is like, you know, you need to show the market. Now, for the logical, remember, so I'm gonna go back, you know, to my very first slides is, you know, I always bring people to my meetups. I set it this way because it's logical, because that's how I learn it is. First thing, you have to learn how to research the market, and then you have to raise capital. I put it number 2, but it's really it's not one single thing you do in raise capital, but you basically have to find the deals, right? And then basically negotiate and look at the deals, and then underwrite that strategies. You have to underwrite that. You have to do all these things, and then when you when the rubber hit the pavement, when you meet the investors, so you have all these toolkits because they can answer different questions every time. They're gonna say that, why this market? Oh, you know what? I did that already. Here, that's why you look at the job growth, look at the employment, look at all this. So that's the market research, and that's a systematic way. It's not like just going to Google and it's like top 10 in the U.S. market, and you know that's good too, right? But it's not just that. People who are coming to my meetups, I always talk about it. I even share a lot of resources and to you guys, the job growth and the employment growth and all that, and I have a table to do that. So and and I do. So that is like 2 hours meetups, and I change topics every one of them. But what I'm saying is raising capital is everyone's want to do, but you still have to, at the end of the day, you still have to equip yourself, right? Because at the end of the day, I remember I showed you a slides. I invest a lot in my education, but at the end of the day, it looks like a lot. But I'm talking about any deals that you're looking at, it's going to be $1 million and up, right? So I remember one time I spent 40K US, and with my partner, I split it half, which is still really pricey, and to learn about how to do multifamily. But looking back, it would be silly if I'm trying to handle other people. Let's just say that if I'm buying 1.3, I need to raise $500,000. Really, really typical. If I'm handling $500,000, then I don't have the proper knowledge to do it. So long and short is, you have to invest in yourself. and whether you know if you invest in books and mentors and things like that, doesn't matter. We have to start investing in yourself, time and energy, money, and to be able to be the persons to operate in this level. So I did that, and obviously the first time is like it's really hard when I know nothing to talk about. It's really hard at the beginning. It's like, but I do know that I want to. So basically, I remember this. I was in this meet, like I was like many of you guys going to sales training and then going to this weekend meetups, and this is what this lady, really good looking lady, me and my wife and partner sitting in there, and I tell her, it's like, then she asked me, what do you want to go? I said at that time I want to have, like, I don't know what I want. I actually know. I said I want to have 10 million worth of properties at that time, and she said that, you know, this is it, and and at that time I just pulled the trigger and I pulled my credit card and do that. But anyway, not everyone's like this, but I was like that because I'm always want to be driven and do something big, and I also know that if I'm playing with, you know, this is really simple. If it's one saying, if you, there's one line and it cannot hit more home than this is, if you play with cents, you know, the dollars, the cents, you make sense. You play with dollar, you make dollar. Even your dog saying that is right way. If you play with dollar, you make dollar. And he's not here. I'm trying to find his picture. I saw many pictures there. But he said that if you play with millions, you're just gonna make millions. I'm like, fuck, this is so fucking awesome. So of course, like, you know, it's the journey is not this, right? The journey is always this. But I think if you never get in the journey, your journey is always this. So I go on the journey and knowing that there's a lot of work, a lot of money involved, but I don't want to play with small level. So I say, you know, I keep on doing it, I keep on learning it. You know, you see my back is all the books. I do, for marketing purposes, I cover a lot of my books, but actually this is, go to IKEA, by the way, find the biggest bookshelf, 5x5, fill it with your books. It feels so fucking good because you almost feel like you know a lot of stuff. But you know, I did that, and don't talk to one person, talk to multiple persons. But you know, when you talk to multiple person, you know different person operate differently too, and you're gonna trying to do things with the people who can elevate you. Yeah, it's really, I think it's a really long approach in telling you how I did that, but you know, the truth is everyone's journey is different, but this lady helped me, so it's almost like I feel like she's always with me no matter where I'm gonna talk and speak, because she push me out to do what I'm doing. And you know, in life we just, some people, like, she's only 60 years old, she passed so fucking young. I love her. Love you guys. Any questions?
Yeah. I got a question. Where's the recording of this going to be available?
Is it James?
Yeah.
It's secret. Let me figure it out first and share with you guys. I will. Yeah, it's recording, I think. I hope. Yeah. Yes, it's recording. Yes, fantastic. Yeah, what I will do, I will put it on my Google Drive and I'll put a link on the Meetup group, and you guys can download and probably send it to your email to all of you guys. Sounds cool?
Sounds good.
So, all you guys coming for next Saturdays? Are you guys ready to rock and roll?
Excited.
Fantastic. Kuda's left. I think he must have something. Okay. Questions? Nothing? Well, it's good to have you guys. I'm excited. I'm really happy to host this first ever Meetup. But the truth is, I think the library is going to close until the end of April. That's what the lady told me. We're gonna play by year, and I have the boot camp. I mean, I have the market visit at the end of April, and I don't know how the ticket situation is gonna go. So I'm gonna play a year by year a little bit, but it's good to have you guys. Love to have you guys, and thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining at your time. And we have a little bit overrun, and but I think it's good. I think it's good to see you guys online, and hey, keep coming for the actual meetups, guys, and I'd love to see you guys next time. And keep kicking, go exercise, be healthy. That's the best time. That's the best way to fight the freaking virus, man.
Eat fruit.
Eat fruit, yes. Okay, you guys are all really vitalized. I love that. Thanks for continuing, guys. Really appreciate that, and really good to have you guys. And see you guys next time.
All right. Thank you, Howard.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, Howard.
James,
Yes, sir.
go ahead.
I sent you a text message. When you get a chance, would you mind replying?
Let me see. Yes. Yes. I will connect you to him. Is that so?
Sounds good. Thank you.
Oh yeah, no worries, man. Have a good one. See you next week, James. Be healthy, man.
Yeah, you as well.
Hey, Howard. Hey, Howard.
Hey, Scott.
I actually just thought of a question. If you have a second.
Oh yeah, for sure. Go ahead.
What's your take currently on the situation in the U.S. and do you think? I mean, I know the stock market looks like shit right now. Do you think real estate's going to take a hit, and is there going to be opportunities that present itself, through that?
I think it's an opportunity for two reasons.
It's very early to think about it. I know that.
No, it's the quick answer is your guess is probably as best as mine, but I look at it this way. The interest rate is going to go to negative. Yeah. Like that's I know it's going to negative, but it's actually much more negative than you know it.
It was already going to do that. It seemed.
I know, but then there's going to be more negative sooner than we're talking maybe a couple years later on, but now we're negative now. So think about the demand will shrink for a lot of business, but if we investing in multifamily, like look at where we are now. We're at home. I read a post last time. We're at home, and let's forget about the rate. Let's forget about people flocking into hard asset, but we're staying at home. If we are isolated like this, first thing is we have to stay in one place, and that's not your office. That's not the library. That's not any shopping mall. We have to stay at home. So the demand is not going to demand. Like it decrease. Like staying home. So multifamily is pretty stable. But has it been a shocking event people affected? I think it's actually yes. But if we're not selling, if you're buying, that's a good way to go in. It's like saying that the market is shocking. You probably get another 5-10%. Like if even right now, just to negotiate with the environment is bad like this. So even if not, then a lot of people probably fearful in going in now. Just don't go in the market that is super high, right? If you go into like high market, yes, they're really risky because they already go up a lot. Because the reason is when they're not cash flow before, people going in because of greed. So now the greed become fear. That's the supply. I mean the demands go down. Then obviously then if they need to go, like the price is going to go down. I mean, if they have to sell, the price is going to go down. But if you go in the market that's really sustainable, that is already cash flowing, what I'm saying is so the California market or New York market, they're not cash flowing. So they need the market to keep going up to not losing money. But for market like Midwest, like other market, like have cash flowing all day long, if the market go down, you can hold for 3-5 years. You're not going to lose your shirt. If you don't, that's what I mean by that. And then, if you're looking at the interest rate, so interest rate drop crazy. it's going to drop 1.5, something like that, right? And all in, like they're pricing all in 1.5. Think about that, your cash flow, right? So you will know when next week we talk about this, Scott. Is your all income. So the rent doesn't decrease that much, but then your expenses is the same, and then you talk about 1.5 out of all these millions you borrow from the bank, and then you push your cash on cash much easier. Then so again, income minus expense, that's become your NOI. NOI minus the debt service, which is what we talk about, the decrease of the mortgages, becomes your profit before tax. That's where you're going to share with investors. So that's going to increase. So long and short is, now you have much more to share, basically more than the market to the investors. Isn't it that's good? So you can provide, so let's say the deal may be only 8% or 10%, now you can say that 10 to 12%. Now you're going to be, the position yourself is like, you want this to cash flow month in, month out, or you're going to invest in your Dow Jones that only dropped 30% for last week.
Yeah.
Right. So that I would position that way. Remember, think about it, is we are investor, but think about you're a real estate entrepreneur. You always need to craft the messages to your advantages to your potential audience, which is your investors. Of course, like at the end of the day, this is how you sell, but the deal itself has to work. But you know what? I'm not worried. The 2008 times, even the real estate crash, that was a real estate crash. The multifamily didn't crash at all or at much, right? Single family did take a very bad beatings. You take a look at multifamilies, well, it didn't drop as much. It go over little corrections, but if you are cash flowing, that's why market like this now, buy cash flow properties all day long. Cash flow. Because if you're cash flowing, you're gonna hold it for 3 years. You're gonna hold it for 30 years. And if you don't sell, everything will drop, right? Everything can be a fear. But if the market doesn't, if you're not forced to sell because you're cash flowing every single month, you know what? You still can weather it.
Yeah. I guess the only pinch point would be if businesses start to fail, people's disposable income, maybe not disposable income, their ability to afford more expensive property down, and then it gets tougher to do your renos and charge more rent.
It will.
Do that boost, because it's definitely been, I'm not going to say easy, but easier in the last 10 years to boost rents.
Yes, the rent has been going up so much.
Than just flying.
Yes.
So I guess that's going to be the challenging part for the next little while.
Yes, and always when we look at properties, Scott, this this is the goal, but it's always not all the time you can do it. But the goal is always to look at the market, and let's say the market is $600. You always want to find a property that's charging $450. So you're not because you cannot force the market to go up, but you can force your property that is currently on the market to match the market. Let's say you're buying and the market was 600, now is 550. So if you do that, you're not going to make as much, but you're still going to make money because of you doing it. But that's one of the strategy is look for property that is need to do work, and don't buy the A properties, because when people lay off, people cannot support high rent. They need to go to B properties, pay less rent, and they can still support themselves. Yeah, but yeah, you're very, 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 and you know what? It can be affecting a lot of multifamily in the high expensive market. Because the truth is, why people invest in Midwest, because people, I talk to brokers all day in and day out, right? And they tell me, these buyers, they talk to all these buyers, and they're like, oh, I just talked to buyers from New York again. Why? It's like, they just moved that property from 3 cap to 6 cap, right? They want the yield, right? And then it's buyers from Florida, buyers from Seattle, buyers from California go to place that have high yield. But of course, the risk is always there. but don't buy. That's ways that you can mitigate. And if I have to invest in single family or multifamily, I would rather invest in smaller multifamily than obviously big single families, because single families is you cannot have one tenant or two tenants. Then if the rich tenants move out, then you're a hoop. But there's a really good that you think about that. There's also think about that. I didn't think about this virus would hit us this bad. No one's know that, right? Suddenly, it's almost like Friday, like this week in Canada. It's like all this is like Starbucks and like Disney. It's so depressing, to be honest. I was watching news for like 4 hours last night. I can't take it. Like that was so bad. It's like. Yeah, it's almost like no good news. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, and so I basically said, I'm not gonna listen to the news again, because you know what? We all know that in 2 years it's gonna be it's gonna be all back up again. We all know that it has.
Sure.
It has.
Yeah.
So it has. So
Just getting through it now. Yeah.
getting through now. Yeah, if it drop within the 3 to 6 months, I think it's gonna be a great opportunity for us. Because it's gonna be go up, right? For sure.
Yeah. Yeah. There's probably just a little work on investor confidence, but I mean,
Yeah.
probably good.
Yeah. I always tell them, you want liquid asset, look at how much you drop today.
Yeah.
But it's that's it. It's when we're doing real estate, we always have looking at competitions on like the other offering. So I always try to train myself, position in a way to communicate with them that way. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Scott.
Get going here.
All right.
Thanks again. Look forward to seeing you next week.
See you Saturday,
Saturday.
9 a.m.
9 a.m. Jeez, that's better than that.
Don't complain, dude.
I'm just kidding. All right, see you later.
See you, Scott. Take care, man.
This is Kate here.
Hey, Kate.
Thank you for organizing this meetup. I
Oh,
just
you're
have a
welcome.
quick question about investing in the U.S. in general.
Sure.
So what kind of regulations are there, and what kind of maybe like tax restrictions or other hoops you have to jump through in order to invest in the U.S.? Because this is something completely new for me.
Oh yeah, it's a lot.
Okay, so it's possible. I mean, if you're a Canadian resident, investing in the U.S. should be.
I'm
it's
doing
not
it.
straightforward, but are there a lot of things you need to maybe apply for or meet the criteria?
Yeah. So
Like, how difficult is it?
yeah. So to be honest, it's not the most straightforward things to do. That's probably like, and just give you a straight answer. That's probably why a lot of Canadian investors, even though looking at how expensive the Canadian real estate, and they still do it. If looking at, like, I give you the example of why people would do it, investing in Calgary market, and 150 per unit and getting $1,000 per unit, and why doing that, and not if you're a math guy, then just give you an example, why not doing it in the market that you can get $600 and the price is let's say 50,000, right? You can do the math. It's like about 6 or 7 times, right? So
do you have to meet a certain criteria in order to be allowed to buy property in the U.S.?
are you talking about single families or multi-families?
Any kind, actually.
They're different.
Either one. Oh, so there are different rules.
Yeah, well, no. So if you, I invest in single families, but Kate, back in 2012, I bought my first single family home in Phoenix, and so you need to set up. So you need to talk to an accountant who know how to set you up as a Canadian resident, but you can do that properly, and do it in such a way that is legal and tax efficient. And all you need to do is find lawyers that know his shit in terms of cross-bordering asset protections or asset positioning yourself, and then find the accountant that knows cross-bordering tax. Basically need to know how Canadian tax is being filed by investing, if you're investing in the U.S. properties. So that is not, all this snowbird has been doing it, the truth is, right? And it's usually they're doing it in 50, 60, and they just figured out that they need to. But the truth is, like, it's not that hard. You need to have something called ITIN number, and you can Google it and you can reach me out. I can help you quickly and how you can set up yourself or find some lawyers, accountant to do it. The hard part is not, the logistic of that is not hard. You're totally legal to do that. By the way, let me I'm going to disclaim first, because it's recorded. I'm not a legal professional in that, but I've done that many times. So don't take me, check it, verify before you're going to do it yourself. But my experience is this: accountant who know the cross-border, basically cross-border terms, accountant, taxes. They meaning that they know U.S. tax and the Canadian tax, and they have helped Canadian. I'm not talking about residents. I'm talking about Canadian citizens like us to invest in U.S. legally, properly, and tax efficiently. That if you doesn't know what to talk about, it means you're talking about the wrong persons. Okay, because that's accountant who can do that. So you need to find an accountant to be able to do that, and then you hunt the properties, and then you structure yourself. There's many ways. If you want to really protect it, you can open a company, and if you not want to protect, you can hold yourself. And then, but even if you open a company, the bank wants you to personal liability, just like if you invest in single families here. So if you're new in investing in U.S., you're not going to just go down there and buy multifamily, right? That's the truth, right? You probably won't even think about doing that. You probably buy single families and then figure out how you do it properly. But if you invest in multifamily, usually the deal is if you have a lot of capital, yeah, you can do it yourself. But if you don't have a lot of capital, and you probably invest with people who have done it many times, and you have a track record and partner with them, and you will be a part owner of that, and you'll be investing in the deals, and you will have the interest and then the equity and the profit to share, and deal by deal is different, right? And then different person investing is different. So that's I have done it. I've done it multiple times, of course, and people in company who have done it multiple times from Canada.
Okay. I guess the main challenge is how do you manage your property, and you have to always fly there, or do you have a property management company that takes care of your tenants? I mean, that's probably the major difficulty.
Actually, that's if you invest in yourself, yes. But that's actually the easy part. If you're investing, if you're investing in multifamily, because there's so many other things you need to looking after. As is raising capital, finding a property and finding a good property is also hard, and structuring is also. I bring this slides again. It's like research, raise capital, create capability, people skills. So I talk about this people skills to create teams, meaning that you have to find the right people to manage for you, find the right people to find the deals for you, find the right people to living in there, find the accountants to be able to do your things properly, find your lawyers to be able to handle all the documentation for you. So this is all this number 4, one single point, but it means a lot of those things. So if you think of like just starting out, and to invest in US, I strongly suggest do it, because you know what, it's why investing in Calgary and basically you can't even cash flow. To me, that's disgusting.
Yeah, that's totally right.
But you know what?
Just starting out, so this is like, I'm not an expert in this, but I'm learning how it all works, and yeah, I will continue my research. So thank you very much for organizing.
Welcome. Keep coming. Yeah, no, let me know if I can help you. I'd love to help. I do this multiple times. I can probably point you right direction. Just keep coming to meetups so we can chat.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Sean.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. There's a couple guys who still want to be here. Like, you guys don't want to leave, or you guys want to have questions? Tara? Rao? Or you guys just sleeping? Bye-bye? Or you guys still meeting? Okay, I will end this call. And thank you very much for the rest of you guys, and look forward to see you guys in the upcoming meeting. Bye guys. Bye. Bye, Will. I'm just waving to all you guys. Holy, there's a lot of people watching. Sorry, I was talking, so I don't see all you guys. So for all you guys who are watching on Facebook, thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and hope you guys can watch the video. I'm going to post it on the video so you guys can watch it live later on. But thanks very much for coming and saying hi, and looking forward to bye, Will. Looking forward to see you guys in upcoming meetups and upcoming live, and do tune in for more information how to learn about multifamily investing, and grateful to see you guys. Ciao.